Meanwhile, the Philippines has entered top 20 countries worldwide with the most COVID-19 cases last October 1. This is after the Department of Health or DOH reported 2,450 new cases, bringing the country's total to 314,079. The list can be seen in the Worldometer site and the Johns Hopkins University Coronavirus Resource Center. With the addition, the Philippines beat out Pakistan, which at the 21st spot has 312,806 coronavirus cases. The Philippines is now just one slot below Italy, which has 314,861 cases. As of October 4, the country has logged 322,497 total COVID-19 cases, where 43,642 are active, and 18,065 have recovered, and 100 have died. Meanwhile, Metro Manila Council Chairman Edwin Olivares has said on Wednesday that the region's quarantine restrictions may even more relaxed to modify general community quarantine by November if the downward trend of the cases in the region continues. NCR, which has the greatest number of COVID-19 cases nationwide, remains under general community quarantine for the whole of October. Olivares, who is also a mayor of Parañaque City, further noted that the number of cases had been going down and the recovery rate was more than 90% in some parts of the metropolis. In the meantime, Olivares said Metro Manila will stay under GCQ as some mayors in the region fear the spike of COVID-19 cases with the relaxed restrictions. Department of Transportation has released a cashless payment policy, no beep card, no ride, on EDSA busway last October 1st to mitigate the COVID-19 spread. Commuters then were quick to decry the said policy over confusions on the actual beep card price, anomalies in the beep card system, and the expensiveness of the card and load itself.
Panluloko yung ginagawa nyo eh. Bad trip na ako.
Kaya magkano yung beep card?
Ilang beses na nangyari to eh.
180?
Palitan nyo to. Palitan nyo.
Hindi namin alam yan eh.
Gara nakapila ka tapos
Autol ngayon, ang pamasahe ko, balikan lang, wala kong pangbili ng gift card. Ababa ng pila namin hanggang pampalingke.
Magkano to? 180 ang laman, 100 lang po. Paano po yung iba? Kaya nakapila doon, ang pera niya kulang ng 20. Kaya pagbigyan. Paano po yung mga taong nangangailangan, di ba?
Paano yung walang pera? Paano yung walang pamasahe? Paano na lang yun? Kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng public transport eh.
Last August, AF Payments Incorporated, the beep payment operator, has increased the price of the beep card from 50 pesos to 80 pesos, exclusive of the convenience fee from third-party sellers that amounts to 5 pesos. Meanwhile, the Department of Transportation urges the AF Payments to give discounts for single-journey travelers and make the beep cards free for regular commuters due to financial burden already brought by the pandemic.
Kahit papaano, kailangan sana maging masunod itong direktiba ng DOTR na hindi kailangan may bayad yung top-up cards natin. So ito po, tinitingnan din natin yung mga anggulo kung saan pwede hong magkaroon ng posibilidad kung pwedeng ma-credit back sa ating mga mananakay yung kanilang nagastos dati.
On Wednesday, after lawmakers vying for House Speakership met President Rodrigo Duterte in Malacanang, House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano offered his resignation before his colleagues. An untraditional nominal voting rejected the said attempt afterwards.
If our colleagues want you today, ikaw na. Let him show that he can pass the budget on time, but more than that, let him show that it will be a great budget. A budget that all of us will be proud of. So I am offering my resignation here and now to you, my dear colleagues.
Ready to honor the agreement, Cayetano, however, insisted that contender Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco must secure majority of support from members of the Congress before takeover. Meanwhile, Palace spokesperson Harry Roque clarified that Duterte's interfering over speakership dispute is not presidentially motivated, but President's duty to perform as party head.
Well, he intervened because he is the party chair of PDP Laban and allied forces, no? And he facilitated an agreement of sorts between the two contenders, no? But that's really not a function of the president per se. He did it as a party head.
On the other hand, Velasquez camp took position on Friday, challenging Cayetano to resign his post on or before October 14. PBA Party List Representative Jericho Nograles also expressed disappointment over Cayetano's unnecessary abuse of privileged speech that caused for the move of 2021 national budget deliberation. Meanwhile, Secretary Roque asked to clarify to the President whether or not the agreement is already settled, following the previous reports claiming Duterte wants term sharing deal enforcement in his upcoming October 5.
The next meeting I have with the president is this Monday, and I will inquire if he actually said this, because that's, I think, a very important issue to resolve, whether or not the president believes that the agreement that he has brokered has been implemented.
Senate Committee on Agriculture and Food Chairperson Cynthia Villar has said on Tuesday that local farmers are not as competitive as their constituents in neighboring Asian countries.
Kasi talaga yung mga rice farmer natin, hindi sila competitive relative to the rice farmers of Vietnam and Thailand.
During the Senate hearing on Department of Interior and Local Management 2021 budget, the senator mentioned that there were not enough people buying rice from the local farmers, and the government should support the local farmers.
And one of the biggest problem natin ngayon there are not enough people buying rice from our local farmers. So ini-encourage natin ng government, especially the NFA, to buy rice from our local farmers para tulungan sila until such time na magawa natin silang competitive.
This statement led to the uproar of netizens who vented their criticisms on Twitter, which made her trend on the same day. A netizen defended the farmer while another one challenged the senator to become a farmer for a year. On the other hand, netizens weren't surprised that her new controversial statement will trend. It was not new that the lawmaker made an intriguing statement in the past, which included her degrading statement about nurses and the banning of only rice in restaurants. Bills proposing to raise the current age for sexual consent from 12 to 16 has reached committee level on Thursday. This comes after Senator Richard Gordon, chairman of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, said the report will be submitted in plenary on Monday. According to the bills, Gordon and Miguel Zubiri originally agreed to push the age to 15 until it was further adjusted to 16 during the joint meeting. Aside from Gordon and Zubiri, among the other authors of 8 other bills were Senator Risa Hontiveros, Laila de Lima, Sherwin Gatchalian, Nancy Binay, and Ramon Revilla Jr. Meanwhile, in an interview on ANC, Hontiveros explained that with approval, the law will finally be with the children's behalf while rising exploitation and pregnancy cases loom within the pandemic.
Yun yung gusto nating sabihin sa ganitong mga batas of raising the age of consent, expanding the protection against statutory rape, na sabihin sa ating mga bata, ating mga anak, sabihin sa mga kapwa magulang natin who want to protect our children, to give our children and especially our girl children a fighting chance for a good life, na you are not alone. The law is also on your side. Kasama nyo rin ang batas, lalo na sa panahon ngayon ng pandemya, sa panahon ng patuloy na teenage pregnancy epidemic, panahon na in fact, Carmina, hotspot pa rin tayo for online sexual exploitation of children o OSEC.
Under the current 1997 anti-rape law, the Philippines remains to have the lowest age of sexual consent in Asia, while being the second lowest in the world. President Rodrigo Duterte has lashed out at social media giant Facebook after it recently shut down pages linked to the country's military and police that were found spreading misinformation.
Facebook, listen to me. We allow you to operate here, hoping that you could help us also. Now, if government cannot espouse or advocate something which is good for the good of the people, then what is your purpose here in my country?
During the same speech on September 28, the president also accuses Facebook of enabling rebellion after closing down fake pro-government networks.
You cannot lay down a policy for my government. I allow you to operate here. You cannot bar or prevent me from espousing the objectives of government.
Last week, Facebook took down 57 accounts, 31 pages, and 20 Instagram accounts linked to the state forces for coordinated inauthentic behavior. Both Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, and the Philippine National Police, PNP, disowned the supposed fake accounts and pages. But Palace spokesman Harry Roque is doubtful that Facebook will be banned in the country, saying that President Duterte only wants a dialogue with the online platform.
Kung mawawala tayo, malaking kawala po yan sa Facebook, pero at the same time, dahil number one nga tayo, marami rin Pilipinong gumagamit ng Facebook na maapektuhan din. No? So ang sabi naman ng Presidente, pag-usapan yan dahil pare-pareho naman silang sinusulong ang karapatan ng malayang pananalita.
Meanwhile, Duterte's allies Senator Bato de la Rosa and House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano are both seeking separate investigations to look into Facebook's alleged censorship. Ombudsman filed cases against 10 PhilHealth executives on Friday after findings directed anomalies in the misuse of Interim Reimbursement Mechanism or RIM and overpriced IT equipment. For the case, accused officials, including former CEO and President Ricardo Morales, have been found violating RA 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and the National Revenue Code. Malversion of public funds is also contested against identified top executives. On the same day, newly appointed PhilHealth President Dante ordered all salary grade 26 officials to tender their courtesy of resignation as the new administration seeks to revamp the embattled state insurer. In his public address on Monday, Duterte once again expressed his proposal to abolish PhilHealth due to massive corruption that also made him to consider to resign as a president.
PhilHealth, I'm going to propose to Congress to abolish the... Kung i-privatize mo naman, sus Mariusep.
Meanwhile, PhilHealth spokesperson Ray Balenya welcomed the progress of the case and considered ombudsman's filing a chance for the accused to defend themselves in the court.
May maganda itong kalalabasan. Una, malalaman natin kung ano po ang katotohanan at yung mga naapektuhan nating mga kasamahan ay kumbaga nabigyan sila ng pagkakataon na maipagtanggol yung sarili nila sa court.
Los Angeles Lakers took the first lead of the NBA Finals Game 1 after dominating over Miami Heat with 18 points deficits, clinching a 169-8 victory last Thursday. The superstar duo LeBron James and Anthony Davis recorded 25 points, 13 rebounds and 9 assists, and 34 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists respectively to take control of the series opener match.
I just want to come out with a lot of energy. Be aggressive on the offensive glass. Playing in a dunker's area. When Bron and Doe and AC get in the paint, they got easy dump offs. And not settling for too many jumpers, just being able to play in the paint and just kind of dominate the paint area. That was kind of my mindset coming into the game.
Heat starting guard Goran Dragic and the All-Star big man Bam Adebayo suffered injuries, making Jimmy Butler take over the game with 23 points despite spraining his ankle in the first half. Meanwhile, Lakers are hoping for their first title in a decade as a tribute for the fallen back Mamba, Kobe Bryant. This has been EXplainED Express, delivering you the most pressing issues straight to your fingertips.